Mrs. Nasland, and today we are we're focusing on problem solving in this lesson 13. So we're going to try some problems here. This first one's called Math and Autumn Leaves, and here's what it says. The weather in different parts of the United States has a noticeable effect on the plants and trees. In warm parts of the country, trees can keep their leaves all year long. In the northern states, fall weather causes leaves to change color. People from around the country plan trips to see and photograph the red, yellow, orange, and brown leaves. A fall leaf viewing trip could involve driving through a national forest, biking along a rail trail, or hiking into the mountains. So here's our problems. It says one popular park for photographing leaves in autumn is Macedonia Brook State Park in Kent, Connecticut. The Yellow Trail is the shortest hiking trail and is 51/100th miles long. What is the fraction written as a decimal? So I've rewritten the problem here. And what I like to do when I'm taking a fraction, writing it as a decimal, is that especially when it's ends with the tenths or hundredths or thousands, I like to count my zeros. So in this case, I have 2 zeros. And then I just rewrite the numerator. And I use those zeros. It was 2, so I go over 1, 2 spots, and I put my decimal. So I have 0 and 51/100ths, or 0.51, would be the decimal that I would get when I rewrote 51/100ths. All right, down here it says, the Roger family is visiting Massachusetts to see the leaves change color. The old Eastern Marsh Trail is 1 2/5 mile long. The Bradford Rail Trail is 1 3/10 miles long. The Roger family wants to take the longer trail. Which trail should he take? Well, I look at this, and I look at my denominators, and I see 1 is a 5 and 1 is a 10. And right away, I think to myself, well, I could change this 5 to a 10 really easily by multiplying the bottom by 2, which would give me 10. But if I do the bottom, I also have to multiply the top. So when I do that, I end up with 1 4/10. So I'm comparing 1 4/10 to 1 3/10. And right away I know that 1 4/10 is larger because 4 out of 10 pieces is taken up over the 3 over the tenths. So the 1 2/5 or 1 4/10 is longer. So I'm going to say that the old Eastern Marsh Trail would be the longer trail to take if you want to take the longer trail. All right, I'll do a couple more on this problem or on this page here. It says Joshua and Lily are going north to participate in a walking tour of Clarkston Park to photograph the leaves. Here is a trail map of the different walking trails. Write the length of the West Trail as a mixed number. So first let's find the West Trail. And I see the West Trail is written as a decimal. It's written as 2 9/10. And if I look here, I put a place value chart here, and tenths is the first spot over. So when I see that, I know that 2 is my whole number. So I'm going to go ahead and write 2 as my whole number. And I know that 9 is going to be my numerator. And since it's 9/10, 10, hear the 10 in there, I know that it's going to be 9/10. So it's 2 9/10. So that's how I would write the West Trail as a fraction. All right, our last problem we're going to do today says, which trail is shorter, the West Trail or the North Trail? Write a comparison using greater than, less than, or equal to. So West Trail or North Trail? Well, the North Trail is 2 3/5 mile. All right, 2 3/5 miles. We'll write that down. 2 3/5 mile. That's the West Trail. And the North Trail, if I look here, the North Trail, that was the North Trail, 2 3/5, sorry. The West Trail is 2.9, which we just already changed into a fraction, right? We changed it into 2 9/10. So I'm going to put that as a 9/10. I'm going to put it as a fraction since my other number is a fraction. And then I'm going to go ahead and make them have a common denominator. So again, I see there's a 5, If I want to get that to be 10, I know I just have to multiply by 2. So we're going to times this by 2. And if we do the bottom, we have to do the top. So when I rewrite my fraction, I still keep my 2. My 2 stays the same. But I have 2, and then I do 3 times 2, which is 6, over 10. And they want to know which trail is shorter. So if I take those and I rewrite those out, I know that the 2 and 6/10 is less than the 2 and 9/10. So there we were able to compare some fractions. We converted from decimal to fraction and from fraction to decimal. And we focused on some real life problem solving.